Informative, educative, and analytical. Getting to the real issues that affect an ordinary individual in areas of leadership, governance, social, and economy. The truth, the lies, and politics.
A very good evening to our viewers and welcome to The Truth, Lies, and Politics here on Spirit TV. And this is a dynamic space where ideas collide, opinions ignite, and perspectives are challenged along the table. Well, would like to invite you to an engaging journey where we dive deep into pressing issues that affect you and I, and also would like to amplify diverse voices on the table. You can be a part of this conversation when you get to our socials, that is at Spirit TV UG on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on X. Yes, that is on X, that is at Spirit TV UG. Please leave a comment and later on we hope to be able to open up the phone line so that you can call in and ask or contribute to the conversation. Otherwise, together we can empower our masses but also narrow the gap between the masses of knowledge and then allow people to make the decision. I'd like to invite you this week. I have three gentlemen who are up to the task of, tackling our conversation on regional trade. But just before we dive into that conversation, I would like to leave this with you. Uganda and Kenya say the trade war is cooling off. Now, after weeks of meetings between President Museveni and William Ruto, a joint resolution has been signed. Ministers of trade from both countries have pledged to ease border congestion, cutting clearance time from 4 days down to just 2 hours. And in a surprise move, all excise duties on locally made products have been scrapped. The promise sounds good, but is it real relief for traders or just another diplomatic press release? This and much more only on The Truth, Lies, and Politics on Spirit TV. Stay informed, stay engaged. We do welcome you back to The Truth, Lies, and Politics. My name is Paul Ekurot Eki and the show host. In studio with me are gentlemen who I said earlier on are, ready for the task. Excuse me. And right, I will go directly to introduce them. On my immediate left is Mr. Gerald Muhumuza Muwasi, who is, I think, the assistant PRO. I hope I have all the PRO. Yes, whichever. But is the PRO Kasita, and he is making his maiden appearance on the show. Good evening, sir, and welcome to the show today.
Good evening, viewers.
Yes, and thank you very much. The PRO,
Who is Kasita?
He will break it down in a short while. All right, he will break it down. And next to him is Mr. Owen Mugamba, who is a policy analyst and also when it comes to trade justice at Siatini. Would like to appreciate you coming, Siatini, and would like to welcome you to the show. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, Eki, and viewers. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I think for the benefit of Charles from Mushana.
Yeah.
What is Siatini in full?
So Siatini is a bit of a mouthful. In full, it's the Southern and Eastern Africa Trade Information and Negotiations Institute. We are an NGO and we work at promoting trade, investment, and fiscal policies that center the priorities of the people and the planet.
So now he is comfortable. If you hear the name Jen Nalunga, you know
our executive director
associated with
sends her greetings.
Yes, and I think she's not in the country.
Yes.
She's still out. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Also, at the extreme end is Mr. Charles from Mushana, who is a political analyst and a former spy on the show. We are glad to have you, and good evening, sir.
The Almighty God of all creation is great and exceedingly merciful. The message I have for you today is if you want you can make me clean again.
If you
want, you can make me clean again.
All right.
And Jesus answered, I want. So he moved closer to him and touched him, and the leper was clean again. I'm informed that during that time, lepers, they would tie a bell around them, and people would run away, not from the leper, but from the bell.
The sound of the bell.
So it was now no longer the fear of leprosy, but was now the sign of the bell. And the bell was a sign made by man. I asked someone I shared with this morning, who put the bell? You who is asking people to run away from this unclean person, unclean in quotes, the one you have declared unclean. How did you put the bell
on them?
If the disease is very contagious and you think when you come close that person, it will get you. So how did you put? Who put the bell? Okay, you can say you can go and pick it somewhere in a shop. They drop it on the way. Well, then they must determine that you are sick. Someone must determine that you are sick. Anyhow, Jesus Christ defied all this and came closer. He said, I will not run away from you, and instead healed him. And when he is healed, he is asked to go to those who judge, who claim to be judges of the world. Let them go and determine whether you are clean or not. And instead of celebrating with him, the man whose health had been restored, they asked him, so you mean he touched you? How did he come closer? How did he do this? Because they were now looking for an excuse to condemn Jesus Christ. But we are all unworthy, we are all as unclean as that said a leper, and all of us are guilty. We really deserve grace.
Wow. Thank you very much.
And it's what we are hearing in the Middle East.
Yes,
they are trying to put a bell around Palestinians. Right. Now, sooner or later, you will not hear any country willing to host them.
We all need the grace.
But God will be there.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Charles from Shana. Always has a word, and it's either a rebuke or it is an encouragement or an insight into something. Thank you very much, Mr. Romushana. Well, gentlemen, this week, and we're still continuing in the week, it's quite an interesting one. As I speak right now, the 6th annual CEO retreat on tourism is happening in Fort Portal, and for all the CEOs within the country, and the president is gracing that function tomorrow. And I think it will close then. But also, what has been happening is President Museveni broke ground for the state-of-the-art, hospital, Aga Khan Hospital in Nakawa. Albeit the one in Rubowa is still being constructed after loads of money has been pumped into it. But one I think that has been in the headlines has been the abductions of all the arrests of the members of the National Unity Platform that has continued. I think the one is the deputy spokesperson who is in there, who was produced in court today and had something to say, and they're taking him back, will bring back towards the end of the month. But I think a quick one, just like to pick Charles's brains on all your thoughts on these abductions, because people get jittery and then people get concerned with what is happening. So a quick one on your thoughts on, the abductions.
There was a statement from Mr. Rugaba, when he said there is a group of people who are organizing instability, which I called it criminals, organized criminals in areas of Entebbe, areas of Mukono, Kampala, and PG, and I think Wakiso. Kampala, Entebbe, and Wakiso. That they were going to move on them without fear or favor, but within the law. They said it was, later on they also made a statement, it was a decision of the National Security Council or the National Defense Council, one of the two. Then later on they made a statement that they were monitoring in Greater Uganda destruction of infrastructure, poles, if you remember, electric lines, and a number of other things. And they alluded it to insurgency. Now they didn't open it up. But then now you see the behavior of the Chagulan gang behaving like a political grouping, but which is geared towards an uprising, which is geared towards an insurgency. The way they are organized, their rhetoric, Egali, you know those codes of Egali,
yes.
Because they are very heavy codes, you don't know where it came from, and you see them doing drills, which are akin to military drills. They have commanders, they have communication systems, and in my reading is that they are trying now to move on this group, but without necessarily banning it. So as a political organization, they will not ban it because it's quite a process to ban a political organization.
Yes.
So I read operations to do with suppression, but at the same time containment. You contain and you suppress. Don't allow it to expand, right?
Yeah.
But don't destroy it completely.
Okay.
But as you read how it reacts. So the charges, these are mere holding charges. They could even have talked to them to abandon those drills, they could have. But when you see the way they are beginning to move on, because they had begun becoming violent, like the way they attacked journalists, that's a fact. They are issuing threats, they are mapping people for harm. Chagulan has made those statements. Besides, they are centrally located in the business area, the business center of the business center of the country, the economy.
Yes.
So I see the state deliberately moving to wipe out this group, but depending on how to react, if in a few months they hit a terminal of the deep state, they will be shot on the street.
Those ones of those groups.
This group, it's already marked for destruction. But so far the methods are about containment. Okay. They are about containment and suppression. You don't let it grow. But if the overall plan was to do mayhem, then the plan will roll out. Because there are those you saw in drills in the open, coordinators for the uprising, etc. But there are others you don't see. Those are underground, like those ones who put down those poles. They don't put on those overalls. Are we together?
Okay.
Yes. So should those who are underground do anything silly, including but not limited to putting down any member of the deep state, like the way you saw Kawesi, bring down, gun down, Abiriga, Beya Chigundu, Kagezi. If any of those who are hit was a member of the deep state, if they are there on any member of the deep state, I don't need to mention those names, but you know what I mean. I can tell you this group will be shot on the street.
Wow. An interesting perspective there. But we do appreciate you, and thank you very much, Charles, for putting that perspective in line. Now, gentlemen, when we go to Uganda and look at trade, trade plays a major role in the economic transformation of a country or an economy. And when you think about Uganda, our trade has been growing over time. And when we look at the regional markets, that is the East African Community and COMESA, you look at Uganda being a market-based, economy, but also that is rich in natural resources, and one of the youngest populations in the world. So just a small picture there. I would like to just give a snippet, when it comes to some things in the economy. You have a young and a fast-growing population, which is, many people have said, is a potential for growth. You have the top prospects in agriculture and recoverable oil reserves. We hope that by 2025, I think would have gotten 1.4 barrels of, or 1.4 billion barrels of oil. So we expect the first oil next year. All right. According to the World Bank, 41.4% of Ugandans live below $2. All right. And they're hoping that that can be reduced to 39% by 2025. And so many things. And of course, talk about our middle income, how we missed the middle income, and then we gained it, and then we went to the upper middle income. But when it comes to regional trade, COMESA plays a huge part in that. We also have East African Community being our major regional markets. And we export coffee, we export fish, tobacco, cotton, tea, amongst others. And when we look at that, our top partners are South Sudan, Kenya, DRC Congo, and then we have China, India, and Japan. And so just a snippet of Uganda. But last week, I think there was an agreement that was signed between Uganda and Kenya from the, what do they call it, the presidential, let's say, orders, okay? Yes, between President of Uganda and that of Ruto, to change that whole situation and business. And so I know that Owen will be giving us a few things about what that agreement looks like and how it speaks into this. But here we had, when we talk about CACITA, that is Kampala City Traders Association, and the PRO here, that agreement trickles down to us, the people of Uganda, the traders. And I'd like to just hear from Mr. Muhumuza Gerald here before I get to Owen. When we think of CACITA, in the recent weeks there has been, a row, a poll here and there, okay, an unsettlement over the leadership of CACITA. Maybe you could enlighten us and those who are watching, what is actually happening today and what is moving on?
Thank you, Paul.
Yes, sir.
And our brothers here, whom I'm sitting with. CACITA issue has not started yesterday. It has been there all along. Maybe what happened recently, it was our chairman, Masoka Thaddeus, joining politics. Then when he came back after losing the election, when he came back, I said, no, in CACITA we don't want politics. So you first step down and we elect Sechito as interim chairman until we elect a new chairman of CACITA. However, we are still in a conversation, we are still in debate. We want to see the way forward.
Yes.
If they continue with that issue that Thaddeus have to sit down and leave the gap to Mr. Sechito, we shall leave and we shall form our own group,
Okay.
and which is in a process. Already we have even named it. It is an allied business community.
Okay.
It is going to be based in Kampala, or it will be umbrella for the business community in Kampala.
Yes.
So, my brother, you know what is happening in Uganda. Wars are like wars everywhere. It is not only in CACITA. even in the families.
Yes.
You saw what has been happening in the political parties. The very people fighting their party members. So that one is normal, but we are still debating about it. If worst comes to the worst,
yes,
we shall leave them.
Okay. And the chairman stays in leadership for how long?
That constitution was not yet made. Okay. We are about to go and make amendment.
Yes.
That each chairman should be there for a certain period.
Oh, that period has not been.
No.
But we know that Mr. Issa Sechito has been in the helm for almost 20 years?
25 years.
Sechito is not the chairperson.
No, he's a spokesperson.
Now he has,
now there
is a wrangle that now Sechito is a chairman, interim chairman until the election, which they are talking about in the 3 months time, which we are not so sure. But we are still thinking about it. But, however, Mr. Sechito has been in Kasita for more than 25 years. We say now it is a time to give a gap to other people.
Okay.
Because Kasita is an umbrella for business community, not a personal business. He has done what he's supposed to do. Now let him give.
Appreciate.
Yes, we appreciate. Now time has come to give a chance to other people.
Right.
That's where we are now.
Okay, Mr. Gerald, with that in mind, what is the impact of this row on the traders and on the trading community?
Of course, it is bringing a bad picture in terms of we leaders.
Yes.
People are, when there is a wrangle between us, they say maybe there's something which they are fighting for.
Yes.
But some of the issues we shall solve and we shall sit down, and we have been sitting down, we engage ourselves to see really the best. Now you can see there, like yesterday, there are some people who are striking because of the high rate.
Yes,
but we are solving it slowly.
Okay.
And I'm sure by the end of this month, we shall have solved it.
It's very interesting because this is after you met the Prime Minister twice, and after the strike for the traders and the landlords.
Yes.
You know, it's very, very interesting that happens, you know, after you seem to have reached an agreement and settled a few things. I know not all is settled, but that meeting with the Prime Minister was a fruitful meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, when you come to Kasita, especially with the business community, business people are very tricky.
Okay.
What they want a stable leadership, which we are struggling for.
Okay.
And that's why I'm here now. I'm representing Thaddeus Musoke, who is supposed to be here.
Yes.
But all in all, we say Kampala is for all of us, but Kampala is the heart of Uganda. People come from a different part of Kampala. They come to do the business, their small business. They expect to have a good leadership, which we are fighting for. But as you see, even in family, there is wrangles, there is the conflict. Okay. But we shall solve it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gerald, and for giving us the hope when we hear Kasita. I would like to move to Owen. And Owen, when it comes to policy and trade, you know, that's a strength that we come through. So this agreement that was signed by Uganda and Kenya, could you highlight some of the things in that agreement, and then maybe how the significance of Uganda signing that agreement with Kenya?
Okay, thank you very much, Eki. Greetings to our viewers.
Thank you.
I think before we get into what the agreement talks about, I think it would be of interest for our viewers to understand the pillars of the East African community, the formation of the East African community. So the East African community is formed on 4 pillars. Okay. One of them being the Customs Union Protocol. Okay. The Customs Union, so customs means taxes. So having a uniform taxation framework is one of the foundation pillars of the East African community. Then there's a second pillar that speaks on having a common market. So free movement of persons and goods across the borders of the EAC member states. Then it goes on to the monetary union, having a common currency of the East African community.
All right.
And then finally, the final pillar being a political federation, having one political head that is led.
Yes.
So when we look at specifically the issues that have been tried to be resolved,
yes,
with the MOU that was signed between our president and,
yes,
and his Kenyan counterpart, they were trying to solve issues around mainly the common market, the free movement of persons and goods across the borders of specifically Uganda and Kenya. So as we trade as members of the EAC and as Uganda and Kenya, there are barriers that impede on this trade as we move goods and persons across these borders. And those are referred to as non-tariff barriers.
Okay.
So non-tariff barriers are barriers to trade that impede trade that are non-tariffs, because as we've mentioned, the first pillar of the East African Community is the creation of common customs. The East African Community being referred to as a single customs territory. So
is that where we have the one? What is it? What do they call it?
The one-stop border.
The one-stop border point.
Yes, please. So when we look at the elimination of these tariffs as goods move across the borders of the EAC,
yes,
and the creation of what is called the common external tariff, which is a tariff then that is levied on goods that come out of the East African Community,
okay,
of 0% for capital goods and raw materials that are used for industries in the EAC, then a 10% for intermediate goods that are not available in the EAC.
When you say, for the benefit of our listeners, when you say capital goods, what are some of the things that fall under capital goods, so that someone can say yes?
So for capital goods, we can look at things like, if we look at agriculture, like tractors,
okay, machinery,
those are some of the capital goods. Then raw materials, if you have industries in the country, the raw materials that they use to produce,
okay,
those are levied 0% as they come out of the EAC. Then the 10% is levied on the intermediate goods that are not available in the EAC.
That is like?
For instance, when we look at our plastics industry,
yes,
we do not have our plastics industry is very young. So most of as we take sodas, as we take the water that we have right now, the pellets that make these are not available in the East African Community until maybe we establish a refinery and the creation of the petrochemical industry that will be created around that.
Yes.
In Uganda specifically, we kind of provide that intermediate good for this specific product. So there are those intermediate goods that are not available in our country.
Okay.
Then at 25% in the common external tariff, that 25% is levied on intermediate goods that are available in the EAC.
That's the 25%?
That's 25%.
Okay.
And then 35% that is levied on finished goods that are brought into. So when we look at the kind of the way that those tariffs are spelled out,
yes,
it kind of solves the tariff issues. But then the other bigger issue,
yes,
that I think Eki, you mentioned, the issue of non-tariff barriers,
okay,
and how they affect traders, like Mr. Muhumuza, as they trade across the borders.
Yes.
So the MOU that was signed between our presidents, President Museveni and Dr. Ruto, was to address those non-tariff barriers.
Non-tariff barriers, okay.
And the kind of effect that they have on traders.
Okay.
Because studies have shown, and this is, I think, a conservative estimate, that on an annual basis, losses of around $10 billion are experienced through
within this just between the two countries,
just between Uganda and Kenya, and those are issues that need to be addressed.
Okay.
And, the MOU span across very many, a couple of sectors, I think around 8.
Okay.
Including tourism,
yes,
the milk, sugar quotas that were placed onto sugar that was going into Kenya.
Yes.
So the MOU was trying to address those specific non-tariff barriers. And I would like to specifically emphasize the kind of effect that these NTBs have on traders. Because when you look at tariffs, you can plan for tariffs. Because as a trader, you know that this tax is levied on this good and you plan accordingly for it.
As he will tell us.
As he will tell us.
Yeah.
But then when you look at non-tariff barriers, they are unpredictable nature and the kind of effects that they have on traders as they trade across our borders and across wherever they trade. It's the kind of negative spillover effects that NTBs have on traders is because I said even the 10 billion is estimated is conservative.
Yes.
Because when you look at our traders, for instance, you've mentioned agriculture trade. Most of our traders that trade across the borders get their products from aggregators. So usually you're having a group of people that have brought their produce together. Maybe you've even just promised to pay after you deliver those goods, they say, to Kenya. And when those goods are stopped at the borders and are not allowed entry into the other country, there are very many people that are affected with that kind of problem. So the issue of non-tariff barriers is what the MOU is trying to address. And the ESC treaty that forms the East African Community provides for that, because some people were addressing it as kind of having a bilateral, which then undermines the unilateral arrangement that we have under the ESC. But even at the global level, the WTO allows for preferential treatment between that. If we are a group of 4 people as we are here, and then I feel like I have much of a connection with my Muchiga friend Romishana, I'm allowed to have an agreement with him to deepen the kind of trading arrangement.
So that is the kind of agreement that we have with Kenya.
That is the kind of agreement we have.
And
it is provided for, and it is encouraged. Looking at, because as Siatini, we sit at the National NTB Elimination Committee. Non-tariff barrier elimination committee. And most of the NTBs that we've been having have been with Kenya. So it is imperative and important for our traders to have these NTBs addressed directly to this MOU.
So this is a win.
This is a win for our country. We would call it a win, not for Siatini, because our mandate is to advocate for the people, for the Mr. Muhumuza. So it is a win for all of us as Ugandans, and the elimination of these NTBs as a positive that we hope can be replicated amongst all the other ESM.
Thank you very much, Owen, for giving that picture and that perspective. Before I get to Charles, I'd like to get to Mr. Gerald. As the person who speaks for the traders, what are some of those pertinent challenges that traders are facing when it comes to, let's say, either exports and imports? From your perspective, what have you been dealing with from the traders?
Thank you, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Our major challenge is taxation. And also infrastructure. As you see, electricity is very high, taxation is very high. Then when you come to our economy, also you see it. Now, you may bring a container from Mombasa. It may spend 1 month.
Where does it spend the 1 month? Coming
to Uganda.
On the ocean, yes, sir.
On the ocean. Then when it reach, also in a good shed in Mombasa, taxation, when they are still calculating the amount which you are supposed to pay, also traders get a problem from there. When it reach here also, the same thing. You get my point? And now for another thing.
But you're not taxed when it's leaving the other country, the other side.
Even where it is still stay there in Mombasa, we pay.
No, I mean when it's leaving, for example, China or Japan.
They call damage.
Yes. They tax you also.
Exactly.
So you're taxed there, then it comes to Mombasa port.
Also the tax.
Then it crosses to
Uganda.
Is taxing you also.
Now, also we have got another challenges. It is this which we call local investors. There are those Chinese. They come in terms of their investors. And they are charged as investors. They are taxed as investors. When they reach in Kampala here, they start selling things in retail price.
First of all, they call themselves local investors.
Yes. They come, in fact, even the tax which they are paying as investors. When they reach to Kampala here, they start distributing. Even they are hawkering around. Don't be surprised to go to Matuga, you get an Arab from Egypt.
I see that someone who moves on the border selling
So
those
Uganda will pay
air
tax.
fryers.
Uganda will pay tax, full tax when you reach the Uganda. Now that person will sell the same thing with that Arab. What he's selling, Chinese, the same thing.
And this is not singling out on race against what. It's just these are the problems we are dealing with. In our country.
That's the problem which we are facing. Now, now even soon you will see what which will be coming out. Like you go to Katimba, you go to Nabugabo, you will see Chinese selling a kettle. A local person is also selling a kettle. You yourself, you expect to get at least a profit of 10%, but that Chinese want only 5%. So you get yourself, you are no longer there in the market. If they reach the next stage of hawking around, you go to Matuga, you go to where, you go to where, you go to those work should be done with only Ugandan. Ugandan is the one supposed to do those small business, but now it is done by those foreigners. Now take for example Tanzania. Recently it declared that none other than Tanzania will do those small jobs. Now they have run away, they have joined the Kampala market. You see the problem we have here. Now Uganda is a free country. Whoever comes, start his business. You are competing with the investor, you yourself with the small money you have. Now, let me tell you, Owino is employing. Most of the graduates are being employed by Owino.
Yes, sir.
A parent just get for that past the child and say, please, 5 million you go and start Tandika with 5 million.
Yes.
You are going to compete with somebody with $1 billion who has injected $1 billion in that business. The same business you are doing, you are competing with the Chinese. So that is where we are crying for the Mr. President and the others to underlook those Chinese and also Minister of Internal Affairs. They are giving them license as tourists, others as investors. They end up moving around. You get my point? This business which you are doing here, it is only in Uganda where you get a foreigner doing small business in Africa. Only Uganda.
I've been to a place where you see there is a shop, a normal shop, and there is a foreigner in that shop.
I have just seen a cobbler here, behind here. Here is
cobbler.
Yes, a Muyindi is the one there. Cobbler here. Here, you go behind here. You will see. Now, what will ordinary Ugandan do if we reach that level? You go to Tanzania. Mayor doing a small mayor preaching unless you have a license. You can't preach in Tanzania.
You can't go onto the street.
No, you can't.
But Rwanda is a different story. But Tanzania has also copied that.
But now you see in Kampala here, people who are preaching, everybody come here. Those who are selling peanuts, those are not Ugandan at all. You just try to find out those who are selling peanuts, who are working peanuts in Kampala and other parts of Uganda. Those are not Ugandans. So now a Ugandan what worker will he, that why you see there is a demonstration in Kampala. A Chinese rent a house, a Ugandan rent a house in the same price. Then a Muyindi bring his products, sell cheaply. The Ugandan usually cannot get a profit. This is the problem.
Right. Yes, please.
If I could add a bit to what Mr. Holmes has said.
Okay, yes.
At Siatini, because we understand this is a policy issue, at Siatini we've been advocating for the review of the Investment Code Act 2019. Okay. And some of the issues that we are highlighting to the Uganda Investment Authority and the government at large is the kind of restriction of foreign investors in certain sectors of certain activities in specific sectors, because we understand foreign investors are helpful in production and manufacturing, but then you cannot be a player at the manufacturing level, be the same player at the wholesale level, be a same player at the retail level. You're cutting out the kind of value that we as a country at least would get out of some of this production that you're making. So as Mr. Holmes has mentioned, the proliferation of these foreign players in all these different sections of, and activities that are involved in specific sectors. It's a policy issue that I think should be, and we'd continue to advocate for that.
Yes, but doesn't this spell of, because when they say Uganda is an open market, you know, aren't these the dynamics of an open market?
It's known because even when you talk about free trade, free trade does not mean trade without restrictions.
It doesn't mean I can wake up here and cross to Kenya and open a shop immediately and allow guys. No.
It does not. Because free trade also has regulations.
Okay.
It also has standards that have to be adhered to as you export your goods, as you move across borders, that is for exportation of services.
Yes.
Even as we practice free trade, as we are a free economy, there's still restrictions and regulations that should be followed in that kind of aspect.
Thank you very much.
I was completing, I was still concluding, my brother.
Because I need to get to Charles.
Recently, President Museveni invited us in Kororo as traders of Kampala. They have been charging everything in kilos, crosses. You see, you bring a box, the whole box, they charge you in a kilo. Okay? Now, each kilogram, you pay $3.5. But remember, in dollars, remember, that box which they are going to charge you $3.5, they are papers. You may get a shirt. It is full of papers. That paper is also measured. Okay? That box, that box also is measured. Also, so when we complain to President said, no, I can reduce for you. They reduced to $2.5. But still we say, no, we want our business. Let us pay as usual. This business of someone to pay taxes in kilograms, that is not good. With our local market, with our local people, it cannot help us. So that way you see, most of us are now about to start a demonstration. It is because you cannot
charge. Do they charge in kilos in other countries, or it is if you?
It is. I think it is a new policy. I think it is a new policy in Uganda, because in Kenya it's not there, but it is a new policy here.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Right. Thank you very much, Charles. When you look at these, issues that have been raised, and looking at, in 2019 there were closure of borders, in Uganda and other countries, and also we looked at the trade wars in the region. How much trust should we place in this agreement? What is your analysis between this agreement, Uganda, Kenya, and looking at the region as a whole?
I don't make a comment on Kasita first.
Okay.
This association of traders, strike one, strike two, strike this, strike the other. The first time I heard about them, they were striking on VAT. Now VAT is here. Have you heard them strike on VAT again, against VAT again?
No.
Ended. Same VAT, same rate. Now they've been on e-freeze. Slowly e-freeze is coming. Even about the border riders will have e-freeze.
Now landlords are dealing with as opposed to start dealing with tenants using e-freeze receipts.
Yes.
Hey.
It has started with the cars.
So yes, they are organized, but their organization should not be limited to protesting the taxes. They should also be organized to build capacity.
Capacity to do what, Charles?
Maneuver. This word is about maneuver. Because there are many areas that are destroying them. Whereas you are looking at the government, you should also look at the tenants. First and foremost, who are those tenants? Those who own those arcades. Who are they?
Those landlords.
Yes, the so-called landlords. Because those can chase them out of business. So you sell a piece of land, you get capital, you are paying rent where you sleep, you are paying rent where you are working. Where you sleep, you'll be paying taxes. Where you are working, you'll be paying taxes.
Paying taxes on the way.
But anyway, I will come to that.
Wow.
They were not around when I made categorization of states, but for their benefit, let me do it, if you don't mind. there are states which are superpower states. We have the example of USA. Then there are states, and Uganda is not. Then there are states that are developed states. You have Germany, you have France, you have Britain, I think Japan. Uganda is not developed. Then you have states which are developing. You have India, you have China. Uganda is not among the developing. Then you have states which are poor. And Uganda is not among, we don't qualify to be categorized as poor. Then you have states which are poor indebted. We don't even qualify to be poor indebted. We are a rank below. Then you have states which are highly indebted poor. So this is where we were before. Under HIPIC, they forgave us debts to move to indebted poor. But now we have again gone beyond highly indebted poor. We are now a failed state. And we are even now beyond a failed state. So why have I given you that categorization?
Yes.
Mr. Museveni now does no longer talk about the categorization of states. He only talks about income. So he says we are middle income, we are lower, we are... because if you don't exist, you can't have an income. You have an income when you exist. So we are not there. We are failed. We are below. We don't even qualify to be a failed state. Corrupt states are a danger to organized businesses.
Collapsed states are a danger to organized businesses.
Yes. You survive as a business. It's the informal sector that is resilient. Formal sectors become targets of corrupt states. Corrupt states do not nurture the formal sector. No, they parasite on it. Because they have already collapsed. So every time you see Mr. Museveni borrow, every time you see him, because now can no longer balance his budget. So whenever he wants money, he goes for the organized. Because he cannot tap into the informal. Yes. Why? Because the informal are very disruptive. So if you now say that every border who has a passenger should issue an freeze, you get it will collapse instant.
Yes.
Yes, because it is very difficult to police them without creating instability. That's why you see when they introduced this intelligent,
the cameras,
whatever it is, the transport system, it collapsed within 2 days. Why? Because it was a threat to the informal sector. If it had been an organized or formal sector, they would have used force. But with an informal sector, you can't use force because the informal sector is capable of paralyzing the dead state. It can bury it. Now, the tariffs are not limited to being an economic tool only.
Okay.
Tariffs are increasingly becoming a political and diplomatic tool. Actually, it's even now becoming a tool of war.
Tariffs.
Tariffs, yes.
Just like the one Trump.
Yes. So you say you are imposing sanctions on Russia so that the economy becomes weak and therefore it's not capable of waging war, or it is forced to kneel. The same is done with they have done it against Iran and so economies. So the only way you can get out of that is now to make groupings. And you've seen how Trump has reacted to the BRICS, how he's reacting to states that are buying from Russia. So, therefore, when you are coming to free movement, the free movement of goods, the free market you're talking about.
East Africa promises.
Community. Because what is the main objective? Why was it formed? Was it formed as a reaction, or it was formed as a means to what?
Okay.
So like in this so-called East African community, what they are looking at are numbers. Yes, that we have got 100 million people. Yes, I just picked a number. Okay, that we have got 300. The politicians will say we have 300 million people. But what is their purchasing power? You get? You see, the goods you're talking about are looking for something. The movement of these goods,
yes,
are looking for demand, no, for a wish that has capacity to pay for it. Because you cannot have demand unless you have got capacity to pay for.
Yes.
Yeah.
For what you desire. Now, so what you call it can only be a market if there is capacity to pay. Now, these politicians you hear do not have the Musevenis of this world, the Rutos, etc. They don't have a capacity even to establish whether that market has whether that population has capacity to pay.
They are not looking at that.
No, they don't even have capacity to know.
Okay.
Because in the first place, they have not contributed to building that capacity. So they simply assume the existence of that capacity.
All right.
In USA, the state plunders elsewhere. So it's looking for rare earth minerals in Ukraine. It's looking, it generates a war somewhere else to sell weapons there. It plunders oil resources from the Middle East. It generates wealth for its population through force. Right? For you, and then it invests in that population. So I will give an example, which is very recent. USA wants to build ships. The knowledge of shipbuilding is with South Koreans. And the South Koreans were hired to go and build ships in USA. The South Koreans smuggled in people to build the ships. Trump has reported them. You get? So if you are going to build a ship there, you use the Americans. You get?
Okay.
Yes. But
Charles, could you just, like they say, plant a stick there, and then we move on from there right after this break. And then we shall hear from Gerald and Owen after your submission. Well, that and much more. We still have Gerald, we still have Owen in studio, and Mr. Charles Romoshana. And so your questions, your thoughts, how this affects you, please do let us know on our socials. That is at Spay TV UG, on YouTube, on Facebook, on on X, and we will be glad to hear from you. Stay tuned. We are still here on The Truth, Lies, and Politics.
Truth, the lies, and politics. Informative, educative, and analytical. Getting to the real issues that affect an ordinary individual in areas of leadership, governance, social and economy. The truth, the lies and politics